Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
All right, this is Tim, this is Justus, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. Thank you guys for tuning in.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to have Tim and Justus of Myth of Creation. Myth of Creation has released their debut album, Trials, which is out now via Pavement Entertainment. And we're going to be talking to Tim and Justus about this. So guys, how's it going?
Good, man. How's it going with you?
Awesome. Glad to have you on the show and get this band out there a little bit more.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us on.
How's it been working with Pavement Entertainment so far? Because you guys just hooked up with him here recently.
Yeah, it's actually been it's been pretty good. It's just a lot of back and forth emails and getting things kind of set up and going, and it's pretty new to us. It's our first deal with a record label. So, it's all kind of new, which it's good. It's a learning curve, definitely.
Tim, I want to throw this in here right fast, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but did you almost give up on the music, man? Did you almost quit before the Myth of Creation was created? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Personally, for me, it was more so the life side than the music side. The music has been the one thing that's actually really helped me, especially working with Justus and Robert and how close we've kind of become as brothers over the years. But, life just kind of has a way of really kicking you in the balls when you're down. And the music scene, I don't want to say the music scene, just the music in general, there's a lot of stuff that people don't really realize that goes on behind the scenes. During this album, we had family members pass away. We had some stuff going on behind the scenes with just other friends. And, there's a reason we picked the name Trials. We definitely, the last 5, 6, 7 years of our lives into this have been a huge, huge trial to see if we could get through it. And we'll never stop. I think either way, even if Myth of Creation doesn't work out, you'll still see Justus, myself, and Robert still jamming out, still writing music, it's become like a zen for us, so to speak.
What has Rob and Justus pulled out of you, possibly? Have they gotten stuff out of you that maybe other people may not have gotten?
I think so, yeah, because like I said, all of us we're really a family. Like, family is much thicker than blood, and these guys were there from day one with me, and with going through all of the problems I had when I was dealing with depression. They were there 110%. When I told them, like, hey guys, I'm going to stop drinking, they were 110% right there, encouraging me to stop and helping me any way they could to listen. And when we started writing some of the lyrics for I think it was Hate Myself, we really sat down and picked that apart, and it kind of helped me, like, all right, you need to get into this mindset. You need to figure this out, or what were you feeling during that? They kind of helped me question myself and a lot of other things to really, really try to capture what we did for this album.
Now, this is Myth of Creation's debut album, folks, Trials. How does it feel to be able to put out an EP or an album, especially since so much has changed in the music world for bands these days?
It feels really great. I've said this before in a few interviews. Like, this record has been a long time coming. We've put a lot of time and effort into this. I think we started pre-production, back in 2016. We just kind of had a lot of things going on, during that time. And, even in the studio, we kind of had some setbacks, if you want to put it that way. The initial record going into the studio is not necessarily what came out, on the end side of it. But yeah, it feels so great to finally get this out, finally get it in people's hands, and, just finally let the world hear what we have to say the way we want to say it.
What's impressed the both of you or excited you guys the most about making this debut album, if anything? Is there anything that sticks out the most or excites you about it possibly?
Actually, it was really cool. Just last night, Justus and I because we live in Denver right now. We moved from Pueblo, and we went down to the One Up Arcade, which if you guys are ever in Denver, highly recommend that arcade. It's like a barcade. But we were downtown, and we had this guy who had seen us, maybe 2 years ago, and he's like, "Holy crap, it's Tim! Holy crap, it's Justus from Mythic Creation!" And we're like, "Holy crap, it's you! You recognize us?" And he's like, "Dude, the album's out. Like, I've been streaming it." And then I think the most exciting part too was there was this gentleman who got a hold of us, and he said he saw us live at one of the shows, and he's like, "Hey man, I just lost a friend, and your song Flawed has helped me immensely with dealing with this grief." And we're like, "Holy crap, dude, like, thank you." Like, that's the only reason we do this, is to help other people out, and hearing the feedback that it did just that it helped someone. I think that is the most exciting part of this whole thing.
Yeah, I think our big MO behind, everything that we're doing is we're really trying to give back what music has given to us.
But how surreal does that come back to you, Tim, with what you went through and now what somebody else has went through, and this album has helped them out? I mean, how surreal does this get, though?
When I first started singing, it was kind of as a joke, and it really was, because we couldn't find a singer. And now that I'm doing it, I had always told the guys, like, this is all I want. Like, all I want to do is help that kid, help that person, help that one person hurting, to let them know that they could keep on going. And the moment I help them out, I could give 2 cares in the world how far this goes. That is the only thing that matters to me. And helping that person was just, it hit home for me in a way I never thought I would actually feel before. And it's a great feeling. And I mean, I know I did say once I helped that one person, I'm okay to stop, basically. But now it's like, no, now this is just the beginning. More people need to hear this. More people need to hear what we have to say and empathize with the lyrics and really get the message that we're pushing out there. And I don't think I'm ever going to come to a point where I'm okay to stop, because more people need to speak on these things. And there's a stigma on it that I don't think needs to be there anymore.
This is the best addiction that anybody could ever have, is music, honestly.
Oh, yeah. And it helps. It's a multi. How do you always work that? Like, it's a language that anybody can understand.
Oh yeah. I've got some stories with music that saved my life. That's for sure. So we're all in this together. That's for sure.
Definitely.
So how long did it take to write and complete the album? I mean, I know you guys have been sitting on these for a very long time. Old to you, but new to us. How long did it take to complete the whole album?
I think start to finish, I want to say we actually went into pre-production October of 2016. So I think it's right around 3 years. I mean, we had all the stuff written. We had all the stuff ready to go. We had everything kind of pre-recorded, scratch tracks. Okay, we're going in with X amount of songs. We had already planned to whittle those down to a select few, which we did. But, just during all the stuff that we kind of went through in the midst of all that, like I was saying earlier, some of the songs we went in with changed almost on the spot. Like, we kind of had, certain things come up, and the initial song we, sat down to record, it was, we had an idea for it already, and then certain things happened, and that song is now a completely new song, whether it be new set of lyrics, even, something simple as new drum beat, new guitar riff, whatever. I think just the whole idea of the record has changed in a positive way. We went in just, hey, let's go in, record a couple rock and roll songs, see what happens with it. But, we go in and a lot of stuff changed. It brought us a lot closer as the three of us. We're all a lot closer than we were. We're happy with the way it came out. I think it needed to come out the way it did.
Are there any songs that didn't make this album, guys, that could be on the next album or EP down the road, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a good handful. There's
a
good handful.
So one of the things a lot of people don't really know is Robert. He's our guitar player. He ended up doing all the bass and all the tracking for the guitars and that. And he's really our main foundation for writing. He'll get an idea, he'll present it to us either through Ableton or through Dropbox, and then we'll all kind of get together and kind of hodgepodge it together with us kind of doing everyone's job. But Robert is an avid music writer. Like that guy has so many things ready to go. I think my Dropbox is actually full. I actually had to upgrade to the more expensive data to accommodate all of the songs he's been working on, and we are super excited to get that to everybody too. But
we got to get through album one.
Yeah.
Small steps.
Baby steps.
Any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on the album, guys? I know you're close to them, and I know they change every time you listen to it, but do you have any that stand out for the both of you, possibly?
I think for me, the song Save Yourself really kind of hits home to me. I actually wrote the lyrics to that song, which is the only song that I had, partake in the lyric side. But yeah, I mean, I was going through, a loss in the family, somebody who was really, really close to, and I just kind of sat down and those words came out. The chorus is "No one can save you, so save yourself," and that one really hits home to me. Not just because I had written the majority of the lyrics on that one, but just what it stands for and kind of the message behind that. That's kind of the one that really sits strong with me.
This is Tim. For me, it's definitely Flawed. It's a great, fun song to play, and it was the same situation as kind of with Justus. I had lost my grandma. And she was basically the one who raised me. She was like a second mom to me, and dealing with cancer and dealing with everything. That was my way of kind of putting it on paper, of just the turmoil that goes on in your head, the tug of war and back and forth. And that same thing, I sat down and that's what came out. That one definitely, even if I'm having a bad day, which is actually cool. I don't know if other musicians could do it with their own music, but if I'm having a bad day, I put that song on and it really helps. I'm actually kind of surprised that it helps. I mean, I'm not talking crap about her music. It's just I thought, once you kind of put it down, that's it. That's the end of it. But it still kind of sticks to me, and it really helps me cope with it all still.
Yeah, a lot of bands do that, but that's cool that you've got that song that resonates with you and your grandma, man, and condolences on that, because I'm going through my aunt right now. She just got diagnosed with cancer this morning, so it's hit our family pretty hard. So yeah, it sucks, man.
Sorry,
Oh yeah,
it does.
Yeah, it's been like a constant struggle, because I mean, I feel like once you are affected by it, then it like almost opens your eyes and you see how many other people are affected by it too. And me, I'm an angry person. Like somebody hurts my sister, I could go fuck them up, but I could go fight them, I could go hurt them. But cancer is something you can't hurt. You can't get it back. There's no revenge on it. It's a shitty thing that unfortunately exists in this world. And anybody going through stuff like that, we're right there going through it with you.
Was it hard to choose between the current set of songs, guys? Which one would be the first single or video you wanted to release or push for the album? Or did you have to have outside help to come in to help you guys decide on this?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of reached out to, some of our close friends and family and, kind of let them hear all the songs completed before we really put it out there. We kind of had everyone say their favorites and their kind of which ones would resonate better than other ones. And just kind of we would watch the response of the songs when we were playing live and just kind of see which ones kind of resonate better with the crowd. And I think we kind of, in my opinion, we hit the nail on the head releasing Trapped in Hell as the single. It's a good upbeat, it kind of drives. It's kind of repetitive in a good way.
And it doesn't cuss. So we could release it on the radio.
It's radio, yeah. It's got something good you can bang your head to. It's got a solid tempo. It's got, catchy lyrics. And, in my opinion, I think it was a good choice to do that one as a single.
It grooves. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about the song. Actually just grooves. There's just a smelling of grooveness with it. That's how I can explain it.
Yeah, it's a fun one to play, too.
And my hope is that enough people hear it to where for the next show they could catch on lyrically. Yeah, sing along. And that was kind of my hope with picking that song. I actually really like Psycho. I wanted to release that one or maybe Final Word, but I think we might have some stuff in the works we might not be able to talk about just yet for a video we might be working on or not.
What do you hope everyone takes away from, or message you hope they hear while listening to any of Myth of Creation's music in general? What do you hope everybody gets from it, guys?
You know, I want somebody to know they're not alone. I want somebody to feel like they have a place that they belong to. I want to make a face for the people who feel like they're faceless. The people that feel like they blend in, they don't blend in. They're there with us. We see them. We want to give a family to these people. We want somebody to know that, hey, if you're hurting, you can reach out, even if it's to a stranger. Hell, even if it's to us, write us. We're there for you. We went through it. We're going through it. We are proof that you could keep on going. You could keep on keeping on, you know, and I think I want somebody to be able to empathize with the lyrics, somebody to be able to see kind of the deeper level to it all, that it's not just really rock and roll. Those are 7 years of our past that we had to capture and really, really capture the pain, the hurt, the suffering, and also kind of flip it around and let you know you're all right. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to not want to get up. But it's also important that you keep doing it. And we're right there with you. We're building something bigger than us, a mythology, so to speak, family.
It's like I tell everybody, and I don't mean this in a rude or being a dick or anything like that. I'm just saying this for the right reasons. You have to fight. You have to keep going. You have to keep fighting for what you want. You have to keep being yourself. Like you said, it's okay to hurt. Everybody's going to hurt, but you have to keep fighting and you have to keep moving on, because
exactly.
you just can't sit there and dwell. It hurts. Trust me, it hurts, because I lost my dad. Next month will be 20 years I lost my dad. But there's not a fucking day that goes by I do not think about him, and I keep fighting to move forward. So you have to keep fighting on.
Yeah, you know, we hope, you know, something as small as just one of our songs, you know, can push somebody to keep on going.
This album was produced by Scott Wilson, formerly of the Grammy-nominated band Tantric, and he's also currently the bassist for Saving Abel, along with engineer Richard Esterling, who's worked with Muse, Fuel, Train, American Head Charge, and Dollskin, which Dollskin's a badass band as well, at Sunshine Studios in Colorado. So how was working with Scott on this, guys?
It was actually great. He was able to him and I sat down and we were able to talk a little bit over some vocal styles, and he kind of gave us some new ideas of what to do and really what to expect in the studio. And he's actually been there helping us outside of the studio. I mean, I feel like most producers would just cut an album and they're done with you. But Scott's, anytime we go to the venue, he's there. He's always talking. He's like, hey, man, how you guys doing with this? He's always checking back in. And it was a great experience. Of course, he's with another band, so he was on the road a little bit. So I think that's one of the reasons it took us a little bit longer to get this album out. But I would do it all over again if we had the opportunity, because that gave us just enough amount of time to really sit and think about the songs and kind of hear them back, and okay, could we change it this way? And then working with Richard, that was amazing. Richard, he I don't know how he does it, but that guy works some magic in the studio. And he never stops. He's always working.
Not just in the studio too. Richard does, the live front of house sound for Sunshine Studios, because it is a venue and it is a studio. Mm-hmm. So he also runs front of house. So anytime we play there, sound is just incredible. He's an amazing engineer, amazing sound mixer. It's just, we get the royalty treatment when we're over there, we feel like.
So working with Scott, guys, did he get something out of you guys that maybe somebody else might not have gotten possibly?
I think he's the one who actually kind of pushed me with the song Hate Myself, because Justus and Robert were there encouraging me lyrically, and then when we were sitting down recording it, Scott was like, no, man, you need more emotion. That's not enough. And I'm like, okay, well, I did it again. He's like, no, man, do it again. No, man, that ain't right. Go back, do it again. And it kind of broke me down a little bit, but in a good way, I guess, because we were able to capture what was on that song.
I feel like when you guys go in the studio with these producers, I feel like you're going to be in school. It's like to get educated, to bring everything out of you, not to go waste your time. That's the way I feel with it.
Yeah, we're definitely using them for their knowledge. This isn't their first time around the block. So, it is extremely helpful to have, all that knowledge at our fingertips. All we have to do is ask, and, we have all of that
And we did ask a lot. I mean, I feel like we did kind of annoy Richard a little bit with us just asking, like, oh, how do you do that? Or what program is that? Or what about that one? And we were in there. It was a learning experience. It was the first time the first time for me and Robert, second, third time for you, just for your other bands. But yeah, I mean, I think we definitely took advantage of the opportunity that was luckily given to us.
What about the artwork? Who did the artwork for the album?
That was me, actually, Justus.
Oh, good. Cool.
Yeah, so I did all the album artwork, the website, the merch. So yeah, that's all me.
Do you guys see this band still musically growing from where it started, or just has it been more of a personal growth for all of you guys involved with this band?
I think it's kind of been both.
Yeah, definitely.
That was kind of the cool thing about, I mean, I was definitely frustrated during the process, and it gets frustrating writing music sometimes, but looking back, we have some songs that got cut, and I think they got cut for the reason of where we were musically when we first wrote them, whereas to where we were musically when we were ready to record, we had advanced, I would personally say, a lot. Like, I mean, piano-wise, keyboard-wise, singing-wise, guitar playing, drumming, all of our usual, I don't know how to say it, like our usual styles kind of changed, and the personal experiences definitely had a huge impact on that with what we were going through in life. And I think that somehow miraculously ended up transforming into what we got captured on this album.
This album, is this the sound that you guys are wanting to head in that direction with, or are you wanting to incorporate anything else possibly on down the road?
I don't think we're really limiting ourselves. I think we're kind of open to a little bit of everything, kind of.
I mean, this record kind of has a taste of, it's got a little industrial on it. It's got a little heavy metal on it. It's got a little soft style to it. It's got a little industrial. It's got a little bit of everything. I feel like if you're just stuck in one music genre, you're going to appreciate the majority that you're going to get off of it. And I think, we don't sit there and say, okay, we're a metal band, we need to write metal songs only. We kind of sit there and we just write to write. We don't really have much intent of it's going to sound this way. We want it to sound like this. We want it to say this. We want it to be viewed in this way. We just kind of sit down and write, and whatever comes out, it comes out. If we like it, we're going to play it. We're going to throw it on the record. We're going to play it live.
It's kind of, that's where I think we get a unique sound a little bit, because we all come from a little bit of a different background musically. I mean, myself, I was raised on rap, like Tupac and Biggie and New Edition and 90s music like that. And Justus was hair metal and Motley Crue, and Robert was like Nine Inch Nails and Manson and Jimi Hendrix, and we all have an appreciation for that. And then even classical music, like we're all avid listeners of film scores, so we try to like kind of sit. And I think if there's one specific thing we do for sure with music, is we try to compose it rather than like, oh, there's a cool riff, let's write around a riff. We're like, no, let's kind of get a structure, let's compose this, let's layer this, let's kind of go at this as the way maybe a composer would go towards it. I think that's probably the only really limitation we put towards ourselves in writing.
In your guys' own opinion, what does Myth of Creation bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now, if anything? I know no one's reinventing the wheel, but what are you guys adding to that wheel?
Man, that's a loaded question. I don't really know if that's kind of for us to say. I feel like that is completely subjective, completely up for someone to kind of put their own spin on that. It's, like I said, we sit there and we just kind of write whatever comes out, and hopefully people like it. Hopefully people view it in a different way each time they listen to it. We hope we try to add layers into how we write. So I mean, if you listen to the song one time through, you're going to understand it this way, or if you're feeling a certain way, you're going to understand the song a certain way. But hopefully when you go back and listen to it the next time, it's going to be a completely different experience. And
for me, this is Tim talking. I think for me, the one thing that I think we might be putting out there, I think we're putting out a positive message for people. And I think I'm not saying bands aren't doing it. I think there's a lot of people doing it. I'm just glad that we're adding to that side of it. Yeah, to that group of people that's pushing out a positive message for people, giving somebody a place for someone to go.
Now, when you guys are coming into the recording studio, do you do anything differently, especially this time, during the writing and recording process? I know there's two different concepts to maybe help keep your mind fresh and open, to not get bored, not get stale with it. Did you guys do anything that helped you out possibly?
I think just the life experiences that we were going through were all we needed. I mean,
it definitely kept us humble. You know, we definitely didn't go into the studio thinking we're rock stars. You know, I think everything that we went through during that time, like I said, kept us humble, kept us level-headed, kept us grounded almost. And I think spending so much time with all of us in the same room, going through all those things, like we had mentioned earlier, you know, it bonded us even closer. So I think just having that friendship, that companionship, that band, that camaraderie definitely kept us level-headed.
Not me. I mean, I got upset, like, doing a take and then another take. I'm like, okay, well, I need to do it differently, but I don't know how to do it differently. Okay, I'm going to try this. It was really just kind of a fun experiment, I think, because it was our first time, and I don't think we really took anything. I don't want to say we didn't take it serious, but I think we took everything with a little bit of a grain of salt, and then kind of open-minded to the new ideas, just kind of say, all right, let's just capture it. Let's see what we can get and stand behind it 100%.
What can fans expect at a show from Myth of Creation who have not got to see you guys live as of yet? What are they going to get when they come to see you?
I'm hoping that we give them that 30 minutes, that 45 minutes, that hour to let off some steam, get some screams out of their system, and be able to go back to work the next day feeling a little bit better than they did the day before. And to let them know that, hey, like, just let it go. Scream with us. You don't even need to know the words. Let it out, because we're all pissed off. We're all aggravated. We're all frustrated at something or hurting about something. Let it out. That to me, that's what I hope somebody could get from it. While also seeing a great show. Like, Justus and I have worked on some cool props that we built for the show. Justus did all the designing for the scrims too that we have, and we definitely move a lot. We interact with the crowd a lot, and hopefully just have a good time.
Yeah. You know, I've always said, you know, when you're going to watch a band, you're going to watch a band. You're going to a show. So hopefully we give something to visualize. We give somebody to see.
And by the way, if anybody is listening that has any pyrotechnics experience, get a hold of us.
Once again, if they need pyrotechnics, guys, get a hold of Justus and Tim. Get a hold of them. They need help.
Plug.
Shameless plug.
I lack fire, and I cannot legally do it without getting in trouble.
So what made you both want to become a musician? What was that spark for the both of you, if you can recall? Maybe, or what was it possibly?
Man, I've kind of always, this is really the only thing I really wanted to do with my life. You know, I had some uncles growing up who were and still are musicians. You know, I've always gone to see them play, gone to their garage and watched them play. And when I was probably 4 or 5 years old, an uncle of mine had given me a, like, Toys R Us type drum set just to kind of mess around. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I get a little older, and I'm in my dad's basement looking through his records, and I see the Shout at the Devil record by Motley Crue. I open it up, and I'm just completely floored. Like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. I don't know what's going on. Every emotion's running through my body. But something in me, when I saw that, I knew that's what I wanted to do. Didn't understand it, but I knew that's what I want to do. And then I put the record on, and I mean, I still listen to it to this day. You know, it's just something that caught me and has never let go.
Is there a country that stands out or shocks you both that Myth of Creation gets support from, or your music is even getting played in that area right now?
I think we actually have some people in Bulgaria.
Oh, Bulgaria! Yeah,
we have some people in Spain,
and then Japan. That that shocked me.
It's cool. I mean, it's a little surreal, but it's really cool. You know, I didn't think it would leave my mom's basement.
We hope, but I mean, like, again, we stay humble, and it's still kind of a holy shit. Yeah. Is this happening?
Yeah,
this is fucking cool.
Wait, I want to go back. Did you both answer the question about the musician spark? What was it? Did you both answer it?
Oh, no, I didn't. That was Justus that answered. For me, I think the biggest kind of thing was Corey Taylor. He did a talk. One of the colleges I think it was School of Yale or one of those huge colleges, and he did a speech saying, don't do what you love, do what you're good at, and then you'll learn to love it. And I mean, at that time in my life, I'd actually just saw Justus play a house show. What was I, a freshman maybe? No, I was maybe, I don't know. It was a long time ago. And I remember seeing it, I'm like, holy fuck, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, I didn't realize it was just a local show at a house. I thought, to me, it was like, oh my God, this is music. This is it. Like, I want to do this. And over the years, just eventually, I mean, other stuff that I had planned for my life didn't work out. And then Justus was like, hey, man, come play bass for us. I'm like, oh, okay. So I just picked up a bass. Never playing bass before. I picked up a bass, and I'm like, oh, I'm not bad at this. I mean, okay, cool. Then he's like, okay, well, we need you to play keyboard. I'm like, okay. So I went out and I bought a keyboard, and I started playing piano, and I never touched a piano before. And then as a joke, we were like, hey, man, what about if you sing and we bring our other buddy in to play keys for you? I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm in. He's like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, let's try it. We can't find a singer we like 100%. Let's fucking try it. And now, like 6 years later, here I am singing. Like, I think it's just, I don't want to sound like, narcissistical or egotistical. I think I'm good at this, and I've learned to love it. And ever since then, I mean, it's kind of like if you want it done right, do it yourself. And like the thing, don't get me wrong, the singers we were trying out, they were great. And it was just kind of like that was really the sound we were going for. Yeah. So then I just picked up a mic and started doing it, and I'm like, all right, well, fuck it, I'll buy a mic, or I'll buy some in-ears, I'll get this going, and let's do this. Let's commit 100%. And now we're in a magazine.
Speaking of that, there's an article in Revolver Magazine. Let's talk about that a little bit. How stoked were you guys when you saw that and learned about that?
That was probably one of the most surreal things ever. Like, I grew up reading that magazine. I would take that magazine to middle school to drum class. I'd read it at lunch at school. That was just the go-to magazine. I'd discover new bands in there. I would read about this band, read about this musician, and I mean, we kind of knew beforehand that we were going to be featured in. Well, not featured. Have an ad. Yeah. Whatever you want to call it. Before it came out, and then it came out, and it was just kind of it was weird, but in every great way possible. Walking into a bookstore, a Barnes & Noble at that, not just some mom and pop bookshop, a Barnes & Noble, walking in there, going to the bookshelf, pulling off Revolver Magazine with Tool on the cover.
Yeah, we lucked out with Tool. Yeah. That was, and it's right after their article. Like, holy shit, we're with Tool.
Open the magazine, and it's like, hey, that's me. Look, Mom, right?
Is there a band on the bucket list for the both of you that you would like to work with, tour with, or maybe do an old school album split with? If you could choose that one, and I know you guys probably have a slew of bands that you want to with.
Oh man.
It's going to change every day. So, I mean, don't take this as the end-all, be-all. Just from what we were doing today, the original lineup of the Murder Dolls, I think, would be so cool to work with. Joey Jordison, Wednesday 13, AC Slade, Racy Shea. I mean, that'd be amazing.
For me, I think because we always like stick to the motto of like, hey, remember where you came from. I think it would be like, have you ever heard of the All-Star session that Roadrunner United did? It was like a huge deal. Like Joey Jordison, Danny Field, Matt Heasy, like everybody who was anybody was on that album. I think it would be amazing to kind of do that, but to pull in locals, to say like, all right, we're bringing some Pueblo bands in, we're bringing some Denver bands in, we're bringing the people who don't necessarily get the spotlight they deserve, and cut an album where we all work together, we all write songs. I think that would be amazing. Give them the highlight because people need to hear these bands too. They're fucking great. They're out there slaving away every day like us too, and working hard and pushing out their music and taking any show they could get. And I think if we kind of came together and did a whole one with them, that would be amazing.
Kind of like a all local band tribute song or something like that. Everybody come together. That'd be cool. Yeah, I'd like that.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Corey Taylor is like my main motivation, and like Murder Dolls with Joey Jordison, and Wednesday 13, and Rammstein with Till. That would be amazing. Do not get me wrong. But I think we kind of have to keep level-headed, and I think it would be cool to help push others too who deserve to make it just as much.
Folks, you want to get out and pick up Myth of Creation debut album Trials via Pavement Entertainment. You want to get out and pick that album up right now. It's well worth the money, trust me. There isn't a bad song on this album, and I'll say that right now, hands down. Guys, how can folks stay in touch with you all? Buy this album, tour dates, everything and all for Myth of Creation. How can he do that?
We have the website, mythofcreation.com. You could look up Justus, myself on Facebook, Instagram. Go to the band. We have Facebook, Instagram. You can write us directly through the band or through our personal accounts. We're on Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. I think we're on YouTube. Yeah. I think Pavement set us up with a YouTube thing, too.
I even had somebody come up and say they found us on Napster the other day. So there's that still going, too.
Before I let you guys go, would you care to do a promo for the show?
Absolutely.
All right, this is Tim.
This is Justus.
And you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our YouTube link, podcast link, and all that good stuff. And also, as well, guys, please get out and subscribe and like our YouTube channel, because anything and everything that we have for BODS Mayhem Hour will go up on our YouTube channel. And it's also going to go up on a podcast as well. So you want to get out and check out Myth of Creation. Like I said, grab their debut album, Trials, via Pavement Entertainment. It's well worth the money. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. And also, I'd just like to say, today we lost Patrick Smith of Kill Your Radio here locally. He was at the Exit 111 Festival in Manchester, Tennessee, doing what he loves best. So I don't know all the details or anything that's happened, but this absolutely sucks that we lost somebody locally here close, especially to me with Kill Your Radio and Patrick Smith, because I've known him for years since I've been doing BODS Mayhem Hour. And so this is a huge loss for us local folks and the ones who actually still support bands and locals and stuff like that who need to be supported. So may you rest in peace, and may you find that great concert in the sky, my friend. And Tim and Justus, I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you so much, John. We really appreciate it, and we'll also keep him in our thoughts, too.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.